Hi, I'm Wendy, and today's tip is all about focusing on the message and not yourself. Now, that might sound a little bit weird, but I'm going to explain what that means. So often we tend to focus so much on ourselves instead of shifting our focus outwards when we're doing a presentation. And focusing on ourselves can actually exacerbate any anxiety and self-consciousness that we might feel. So why do we tend to focus on ourselves? Well, let's look at it. Perhaps we have a fear of judgment. So that fear of judgment, concerns about how we'll be perceived by others, can lead to a certain self-consciousness. This fear of judgment can be quite a significant factor in shifting that focus inwards, and we don't want that. The next reason why we tend to focus on ourselves is a bit of performance anxiety. And anyone who's ever got up onto a stage to perform, to deliver a presentation or a speech will know very well this fear that comes with wondering, am I going to perform well? You know, am I going to blow it completely and lose it, or is it going to come across really professional? So it can make us again feel overly self-aware. So again, the focus is on us and not on other people and the message. It's particularly so when the stakes are very high. You may be presenting to a very high level group of people. So it would be quite common to feel, preoccupied with your own actions, your thoughts, your appearance at that time. A lack of confidence. Now, this can stem from many sources. It could be that you are not prepared. If you're not prepared, you're not going to feel super confident for sure. If you haven't practiced and prepared, it may be that you don't feel confident in your own abilities. There could be some imposter syndrome creeping in there a little bit. So, if you feel like this lack of confidence, you're naturally going to start focusing on that and only that. Obviously, I'll talk about some tips as to how you can build that confidence. The other reason why we tend to focus too much on ourselves is we're constantly seeking, or we have this desire for approval and confirmation and affirmation by others. Seeking approval or validation from the audience can contribute to very self-focused thoughts. So remind yourself that your primary goal is to actually impart the message. It's all about the content. It's not about seeking that constant gratification or affirmation. All right, so we do need to shift the focus to the message, the content, and also the audience, and take it away from ourselves. So I'm going to give you a few tips to help you do that. Now, I touched on this before, and I always talk about it. It's all about thorough preparation and practice. When you are well prepared and you have practiced this, your confidence will go up. You'll feel calm and composed, and so you won't be having those niggling doubts and therefore turning it into yourself and having that inner self-critical voice chattering away, which we don't want. So be prepared, have, researched and organized everything so that you can shift your focus away from worrying about yourself to delivering some valuable information for your audience. The next thing, and I've said this before as well, is to understand your audience. If you are worrying about who your audience is, what they're thinking, perhaps they're not your group, they may not be your ideal clients, then that allows for a lot of negative self-thoughts and a lot of thinking about yourself to come in rather than concentrating on the message that you want to deliver. So take the time to understand your audience, understand their demographics, their needs, their interests. Also think about their level of knowledge with the subject at hand. Tailor it to them so that it resonates with them. Consider how your presentation is solving their problems, is helping them. Okay, so that's shifting the focus away from yourself to them, to the audience. How am I going to help them resolve their problem? How am I, delivering value to them? The next thing, I've said it before, practice, practice, practice. That will actually quell, hopefully, some of those nerves and self-consciousness, thinking about yourself and your nerves all the time and how anxious you are. We've got to get that out of our heads and not think about ourselves and think of other people. Positive visualization as well. That's a hard word to say. Visualization. So visualize a successful presentation where the audience is engaged and receptive. They're eating out of your hands. They want to know exactly what's coming next. They're not looking and judging. They are listening to your message because it's helping them. So instead of dwelling on your own performance, focus on the positive impact that you are having on them, that your message is having on them. And that'll help, I think. Mindfulness techniques. I have talked about this before. This helps you stay focused and in the present, focused on the moment. Pay attention to your breath and to the sensations in your body. When you feel yourself becoming self-conscious, bring your focus back to the content and your audience. And you can do this if you get quite adept at managing mindfulness techniques. Use a conversational tone. So as I'm doing now, I'm imagining that I'm just chatting away to a friend. I'm not talking to thousands of people. I am explaining something to a friend. And that was a bit of advice that was given to me. And that's helped me certainly with my videos as well. If you can look at your audience and think, you know what, I'm just simply talking to one person. I'm talking to someone who, you know, respects me, respects my opinion, my view. I'm talking to just that one person. That will certainly help quite a bit. That mind shift will make you feel and sound more relatable and shift the focus away from yourself and to the message instead that you're sharing with your audience. Next one, set a purpose for your presentation. If you don't know why you're doing this, if you've got no purpose, no objective, no goal, then, you know, very soon you're going to start panicking and focusing again inwards on yourself and not focusing on what you're giving to your audience, how you know, the help that you're giving them. So be very clear about your purpose. And that will help you deliver your message very effectively instead of getting caught up in lots of self-doubt. Connect emotionally with people. So, you know, they want to sort of feel how you are feeling. They want to hear stories as well. And then accept any imperfections. You know, the idea is for it not to be perfect. So that's not your aim. Don't aim for perfection. Focus instead on effectively delivering this message. Recognize that your audience is more interested in the content of what you've got to say rather than scrutinizing every word or gesture. So I hope that helps the next time you are out there on a stage for whatever reason, or you may even be in front of people for an interview, delivering a speech to your team, to your company. Get rid of those self-focused thoughts and start thinking about the other person and the content.